It's really just an opportunity to give the students a taste of a real working studio, to give them an idea of what it's like working in our, I guess, our area in the industry, which is digital and mentally friendly. So it's an opportunity to give them that experience beyond what they can gain at college.
I think it would probably be like different actually being in the studio, so I wanted to sort of find out what that was like, and well, the only way is to go in there.
Really it was a way of actually finding some students who were really passionate about digital and giving them the opportunity to work with us. It's a busy time of year, and having extra hands on deck really helps.
It's always good to see like what the industry's like when you're actually going to be working there, and get a feel for what it's like in the real world.
It's an opportunity to give them that experience beyond what they can gain at college.
Well, our first Billiblue intern has become such an important part of our team, and in a really short space of time, and we just thought it would be great to formalise that arrangement.
Well, I think it was a really good opportunity to start off with, because obviously college is one thing, but getting out in the real world and getting real experience is a whole other sort of bag.
I think it's really important to, I think it's important for design companies, such as ourselves, Landor, to give back to the design community as a whole, and what better way to start with students.
Good opportunity to get into the industry, I guess. Have a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun.
I suppose kind of doing what got done to me, I suppose, throwing them in at the deep end and seeing if they sink or swim.
So far I think I've contributed like a fresh perspective, just energy and enthusiasm to learn.
I think working on live projects, working at university, you're kind of sheltered to an extent.
One of the days we spent like a few hours just resizing these high-res images, and that's something that anybody can do.
It is the opportunity for me to grow and to have experience with students who are maybe at a bit earlier level than we normally see them at. So it's good personally in that way. For the studio it's great, because again, the more people we have in the studio, the more insight we're getting on projects.
Really by giving them access to some of the seniors in the agency and show them what their life will be like in 2 or 5 years' time if they get a placement with us.
Well, I think the thing that's most valuable, and certainly from my experience when I was a design student, was just to involve them in every kind of aspect of not only the day-to-day running of a studio, but of all the phases of design from the beginning of a job right through to the end.
Well, we wanted to get the experience, just get out in the industry.
Most good designers, I would say, have at some stage in their career had a mentor, and it's a really good opportunity for us to sort of pass on what was taught to us and pass on that knowledge again.
One thing that struck me with both of them is they were very eager, very keen, and I really kind of reacted well to the way they were really bubbly and enthusiastic. And I think in a big team environment, it's really important to be able to get along with the people you work with, and there needs to be that keenness to learn and grow and be better.
But also it's just, apart from Mike, sort of everyone within the studio as well has been very helpful in terms of supporting us and giving us work and all that sort of thing.
One of the important things that we look for is the students being keen. Right, so if they're keen, then probably the best way in which I and our company can help the students is really to inspire them, to push them, to show them new things or new ways of looking at problems.
Well, I can teach them patience, I think, and I guess they have an avenue to impart their wisdom, I guess, on what they've learned, and I suppose even to then maybe brush up on some basics, maybe they've forgotten kind of things, and then sort of to teach me, like, oh, that's right, that's how you do it again.
Most importantly, the best thing about the internship program and interns coming into an environment like this is that they get to work on real jobs under real time, under real pressure, and so it really gives them a good idea in terms of what this industry is all about.
Well, not only do we kind of gain access to all the fabulous students at Billiblue and build a connection there, but we also kind of get a chance and a perspective on how the new generation of designers are thinking and what they're thinking about, what their interests are, where they lie, to help keep us current.
I think real world experience and just getting out of the college bubble.
Most important is the experience you get. You didn't get a chance to work with other great designers working on a brief, and it's always great to have experience. You can always learn how to shoot your roles.
I would say the benefits of an internship is that it's a great satisfaction of giving back and teaching, all the things that I've learned since I started work. But equally, I think in the studio, just getting that different point of view.
Well, at the interview, yeah, it was pretty casual. It was just sort of, they sort of introduced themselves and what they were about and everything, and then it was more of a discussion on those sort of things, like the dynamics of the studio and the different positions that they have and stuff. And then they did ask me one question, do I know what my sort of style of design is, or what I like to do, do I like to illustrate or whatever.
I like to think of myself as very young, but I'm getting older myself. So when you get these Gen Y kids coming in, it's it does open your eyes to new things, new ways of working, new language, new technology, all these things. And I really encourage, bringing in a personality into the studio that kind of is different from everyone else. So I think that's largely beneficial to us. I
don't have a specific style yet, because I've only done it for 2 years and I'm still experimenting. But yeah, that's basically what we talked about, and yeah, it was good.
Well, I first met the three of them when they came in for an interview and showed me some of their work, and the first three that I met were the first three that I took. I was all really impressed by the work that they showed us, and I saw, ambition in each and every one of them.
From day one, he's just given me live briefs, sort of to do by myself, except for a couple sort of competitive briefs with the other people, which is cool. And it's just a little team that works together. It's not a big office. And we just chill out, have fun. And I think it's just a very personal environment, a very personal way to talk about my work.
I meet them every morning at the moment, whether it's just for a quick coffee or a catch up around a sort of a meeting area, and have a chat to them about what their day is going to involve. Besides that, we get to go out for the odd beer during the week, because I like to show them what the culture's like as well as the actual agency, and get to work with them one-on-one for brief periods throughout each day.
For myself, that I get an insight how it is to work in a studio, and the different roles and everything, and the pace they work in and everything like that. So I think it's really important to just get that kind of experience, so you're prepared for when you graduate.
One of the biggest benefits for us is to see and to have a student in our environment where we can work out whether or not they're going to fit in the studio, whether or not they get our philosophy.
From the first day, they've both been very keen, enthusiastic, bright, eager to sort of help in any way and that sort of thing, and that's really all we can ask for.
First day was really good because it was a team building workshop they'd set up for everyone in the studio, and so my first introduction was actually everyone was working together on this kind of brief. At the end of the day, we had to present a idea for an iPhone app, and so it was kind of competing against two teams, and so really got to know everyone.
The benefits for the students is numerous as well. They get to work on actual jobs, they get to work with various number of people that have got different amounts of experience.
I guess the benefits for the student are just that opportunity to get a taste of the industry a little bit earlier on, possibly a taste of the industry that will allow them to cater their portfolio better for their graduation, so knowing the type of work that they will be doing when they graduate, so the role that they'll be taking up within a studio might help them make some more decisions on what type of work and what type of styles they might put in their portfolio.
I think it just gives us a realistic experience and some reference to know how we're going to fit when we graduate.
But it's also great to kind of build connections with other designers and a community of other designers, so that we not only have an established kind of relationship there, but when it's time for us to employ our next round, that we've already got existing relationships there. So it's great for us to be able to tap into those people that we already know and already know whether they could fit in here.
We've had a pretty high learning curve so far in just the pace that you need to work at, and I think you really need to know your software as well out in the industry. You don't have a lot of time to turn around a job, so yeah, you need to know what you're doing with the software so you can just get straight onto something.
He's basically not like a mentor, he's more of a, I don't know, a work colleague. He's really, really like a nice guy.
I think the main benefits are really going to be for the students themselves. For them to get that little bit of studio experience while they're still at university will help change the way they produce their final year work.
You got your blinkers on at uni and you sort of just cruise along and sort of just take in what people tell you what it's like, but without actually seeing it and doing it. You can't experience, you don't really understand how it works.
Nina brought along her portfolio, some of her pieces, and we just talked through her work, gained a bit better of an understanding of the decisions she'd made in those projects.
And it gives you confidence, I guess. Once you see it, seeing is believing. And it's sort of exactly like uni work. So it's like, I don't know, yeah, it just gives you confidence, I guess, to really get out there and give it a really good shot when you finish.
When we first met our mentor here on day one, he ran through some of the work that he'd done. So we got to see what Landor's done currently in some brands that we recognised, and that was really inspiring, just seeing the process as well. We learned a lot about mood boards and just the transition between the imagery and then how it will look on the pack, and I found that was really inspiring.
The benefits for the students as such is that they get exposure to the industry and they get to put into practice some of the skills that they've been learning at college.
If you're like a good student, you feel on top of the world and you think, oh, like, it's great, I'm amazing, everything's, you know, my little bubble. And then you get here, and I got here, and then suddenly it's like a lot of my skills, they were good, but they were up there, and there was a lot to learn. And even with speed, because we're given a lot of time at college to do posters and projects and things, and here it's like, we need the poster now, and it's like, what? Oh, well, have a day, and normally it's, you know, we have weeks to kind of faff around and make these posters. So that was a big shock, but it was really worth it, because time management wise, I'm just going to learn so much about skills and actually starting projects and finishing them like that day, like when they're easy, just do it, you know.
So it's about really networking and gaining some professional experience, having a bit of fun and realising, hopefully realising that it's a career that they want to progress with.
A lot of experience, a lot of learning.
When they bump it in the streets, it's gonna rock right. In the streets, it's gonna rock right. At the show, it's gonna rock right.